The new era of Formula One, the British impact in 2024 and expectations for 2025. The 2024 Formula One season exceeded all expectations, becoming one of the most competitive and exciting in recent years. The absolute dominance of a single team was replaced by fierce battles between various teams, providing a spectacle worthy of motorsport tradition. Now, with the 2025 season about to begin, the world's eyes will be on Australia, where the new phase of the category will start. One of the most impactful events already shaping the next championship is Lewis Hamilton's move to Ferrari. After 12 years representing Mercedes, the seven-time British champion is preparing for a new challenge in pursuit of an unprecedented eighth world title. The decision surprised everyone, but analyzing recent seasons, it becomes clear that the move could be strategic for both Hamilton and Ferrari. 1997 world champion Jacques Villeneuve believes Hamilton has a good chance of achieving this historic feat in an interview with Action Network. The Canadian pointed to Hamilton's strong finish in the 2024 season as an indication that he is arriving in 2025 in great form. Additionally, he highlighted that Ferrari has been heavily investing in the Britain's image, which could benefit Hamilton as well as further motivate Charles Leclerc, creating an intense internal rivalry. Either this works and is great, or it motivates Leclerc even more. So, basically, it's a win-win situation for Ferrari at the moment, Villeneuve stated. McLaren's growth and Lando Norris's role. If Ferrari appears as a strong title contender in 2025, McLaren also enters a competition with renewed status. The British team demonstrated an impressive performance in the final stretch of 2024, with Lando Norris being the main challenger to Max Verstappen. The expectation is that the Woking-based team will continue evolving and become a true title contender. However, one factor could be an obstacle to McLaren's success: the internal rivalry between Norris and Oscar Piastri. Throughout last season, the two young talents engaged in fierce battles, some of which exceeded the limit of healthy competitiveness. Villeneuve sees this situation as a potential hurdle for the 2025 title. McLaren has not managed this well in the past, which will cause them to take points off each other, the former driver pointed out. Lando should naturally be the one fighting for the championship, but because of the internal rivalry and McLaren's inability to handle it positively, it could end up benefiting Ferrari and Lewis. The British legacy in motorsport. Regardless of the challenges McLaren may face, it is undeniable that British motorsport is experiencing a special moment. In addition to McLaren itself, which is strengthening each season, the country remains a powerhouse in terms of talent on the grid. Lewis Hamilton continues to be the sport's biggest reference, but Lando Norris and George Russell represent the new generation of British drivers who have everything it takes to continue the United Kingdom's winning tradition in Formula One. For 2025, British fans' hopes lie in a generational duel. Hamilton will seek to cement his status as the greatest in the sport's history, while Norris will try to prove he is ready to take center stage in Formula One. Meanwhile, McLaren will have the mission of returning to the top of the category, challenging Red Bull and Ferrari. Whatever the outcome, one thing is certain: Formula One remained the stage for the greatest stories in motorsport, and the British, as always, play a central role in this narrative. The V10 debate, a return to Formula One's golden era? Christian Horner has expressed his enthusiasm for the return of V10 engines to Formula One. Earlier this month, FIA President Mohammed Ben Sulayem suggested that F1 should consider returning to conventional engines powered by sustainable fuels. Starting next year, F1 cars will run entirely on synthetic fuel as part of a regulation change that introduces a new power unit. These cars will feature a 50-50 split between a V6 internal combustion engine and an electric MGUK motor. However, Horner, whose Red Bull team will enter this new era with Red Bull Powertrains in partnership with Ford, will prefer a future return to V10S. From a sporting perspective, looking at what the future of Formula One engine should be after the next generation, particularly with the way sustainable fuel is being used, it opens up all kinds of opportunities, Horner said. Inadvertently, we have ended up with a very, very expensive and highly complex engine from 2026. The purist in me would love to go back to a responsibly developed V10, powered by sustainable fuel. If that were reintroduced, the sound of GP racing, it's an interesting concept that should certainly be explored after the current regulations. The earliest Formula One could return to V10S would be in 2030, and there is growing support for a naturally aspirated engine. Last week, Ben Sulayem posted on social media, "The F1 launch in London this week sparked a lot of positive discussions about the future of the sport. While we look forward to the introduction of the 2026 regulations on chassis and power units, we must also lead the future technological trends in motorsport. We must consider a range of directions, including the thunderous sound of the V10 running on sustainable fuel. Whatever direction is chosen, we must support teams and manufacturers to ensure cost control in research and development expenses." The case against electric power in Formula One. Formula One has always been about the fusion of cutting-edge technology and raw, visceral racing. However, the introduction of electric elements into the power unit regulations has made engines unnecessarily complex and costly. The charm of Formula One lies in its high-revving, naturally aspirated engines that provide an unparalleled sensory experience for fans and drivers alike. The move toward hybrid and electric technology, while well-intentioned, has diluted the essence of the sport. Sustainable fuel presents a viable alternative that allows Formula One to maintain its performance levels while reducing environmental impact. A return to V10 engines would preserve the thrilling sound and power delivery that fans love while embracing modern fuel technologies. Instead of pushing toward an electric future that does not align with the sport's DNA, Formula One should focus on refining internal combustion technology with sustainability in mind. The sport's history is defined by roaring engines, fierce competition, and engineering excellence, not by silent, efficiency-driven machines. If Formula One truly wants to maintain its legacy while addressing environmental concerns, the logical path is clear. Bring back the V10S, powered by sustainable fuels, and keep the spirit of racing alive. Formula One in 2025, a year of high expectations and major changes. As the 2025 Formula One season approaches, the motorsport world finds itself on the edge of a thrilling new chapter. With Lewis Hamilton's high-profile move to Ferrari, the growing competitiveness of McLaren, and ongoing debates about the sport's technological direction, the upcoming season is set to redefine modern F1. These developments bring both excitement and uncertainty, but one thing is clear: British motorsport remains at the heart of the championship's most compelling narratives. The Hamilton-Ferrari era begins. Few moves in the history of Formula One have created as much buzz as Lewis Hamilton's decision to leave Mercedes after 12 years and 6 world titles to join Ferrari. The British driver, widely regarded as one of the greatest in the sport's history, is now on a mission to claim an unprecedented 8th world championship. His move to Ferrari signals a significant shift in the competitive landscape, as the Scuderia has been aggressively developing its car to challenge Red Bull's supremacy. 1997 world champion Jacques Villeneuve has added to the anticipation, suggesting that Hamilton has a strong chance of achieving this historic feat. Speaking to Action Network, Villeneuve highlighted Hamilton's strong finish to the 2024 season as an indicator of his readiness for this new challenge. Moreover, Ferrari's heavy investment in promoting Hamilton's image could either enhance his chances or intensify Charles Leclerc's motivation, leading to a fascinating intra-team rivalry. With Ferrari doubling down on its efforts, the Hamilton-Leclerc dynamic could define the 2025 title race. While some believe that Ferrari's long-standing operational inconsistencies might hinder Hamilton's ambitions, the British driver's experience and racecraft could provide the missing ingredient the team has lacked in its recent championship bids. McLaren's rise in the battle for supremacy. While Ferrari and Red Bull remain the expected frontrunners, McLaren's rapid resurgence makes them a genuine threat in 2025. The British team finished the 2024 season with momentum, as Lando Norris emerged as Max Verstappen's closest challenger. With continued development and a more refined strategy, McLaren has positioned itself as a serious title contender. However, one major challenge could be internal friction. Norris and his teammate, Oscar Piastri, have had their share of tense moments on track, and their rivalry has at times hindered the team's ability to maximize points. Villeneuve pointed out that McLaren has struggled to manage intra-team competition effectively in the past, which could be a disadvantage in a tightly contested championship. For Norris, 2025 represents a defining year. The young British driver has demonstrated immense talent, but he has yet to take the final step towards becoming a world champion. If he can maintain consistency and assert himself within the team, he could very well become Britain's next title contender. However, internal conflicts and strategic missteps could allow Ferrari and Hamilton to capitalize. The return of the V10 debate, a shift away from electric power. Another major discussion shaping the future of Formula One revolves around engine technology. Christian Horner recently voiced his support for the return of V10 engines, a sentiment that had been echoed by FIA President Mohammed Ben Sulayem. While F1 is set to introduce fully synthetic fuels in 2026, the sport will still rely on a hybrid power unit featuring a 50-50 split between a V6 combustion engine and an electric MGUK system. Horner, whose Red Bull team will begin its new engine partnership with Ford, has expressed concerns over the complexity and cost of the upcoming 2026 regulations. According to him, the sport has unintentionally developed an excessively expensive power unit, making the idea of a sustainably powered V10 a more appealing alternative. Ben Sulayem also acknowledged a growing interest in a return to high-revving, naturally aspirated engines, stating that the FIA should consider various technological directions for the future of F1. While such a change would not occur until at least 2030, the debate over whether F1 should prioritize electrification or return to its traditional roots continues to gain traction. A critical moment for Formula One's future. Formula One is currently at a crossroads. On one side, there is a push toward electrification, driven by global sustainability trends and regulatory pressures. On the other, there is a strong argument for maintaining the sport's core identity, emphasizing the visceral experience that only high-revving combustion engines can provide. For many fans and purists, the hybrid era has diluted the spectacle of Formula One. The complexity of modern power units has led to astronomical costs, reliability concerns, and a sound profile that lacks the raw emotion of the V10 era. Sustainable fuel presents a viable alternative, allowing the sport to maintain its environmental commitments without sacrificing performance or fan engagement. If F1 truly wants to preserve its legacy while embracing sustainability, it must carefully consider its next steps. The return of V10 engines, powered by cutting-edge sustainable fuels, could provide the perfect balance between innovation and tradition. It would allow F1 to retain its status as a pinnacle of motorsport without compromising the excitement that has defined it for decades. From pre-season testing outcomes to regulatory changes and team dynamics. With Hamilton in red, here's an extensive overview of the latest happenings. The ongoing battle over pre-season testing phase in Bahrain concluded the 2025 season, offering teams a crucial opportunity to assess their cars ahead of the upcoming season. The grid is more competitive than ever, and British drivers and teams are at the forefront of the sport's most important storylines, which hindered optimal data Hamilton make history with Ferrari? Despite these challenges, can McLaren finally reclaim its place at the top? Will Formula One embrace a return to roaring V10s, with Lando Norris hybrid era Titan performances during long runs? As the season opener in Australia approaches, Carlos Sainz tops the timesheets. The world of motorsport is in for an electrifying ride. Conversely,